Catholic Social Service, who have been a partner of the Philippine Consulate General for so many years already that we have been in existence here in this province of Alberta. So I will start by first sharing my presentation. I hope you can be able to see it. Is it being shown?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So, first foremost, this is a briefing on the various consular services and some important information on the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary. So I'm Vic Dimagiba. I'm the Deputy Consul General of the Philippine Consulate here in Calgary. So briefly, the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary is one of 4 foreign service posts in Canada. We are led by our Philippine Embassy in Ottawa, led by Her Excellency Maria Andrelita, Austria. And our other fellow consulates are in Toronto and in Vancouver. Calgary, as you see in this photo, is located in First Street, 1001 First Street Southeast, Suite 100 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We were founded in February 2016, or almost 10 years ago, and we have a current staff complement of 14 personnel. SSS Calgary joined us in July of 2017, and the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary is also served by our Migrant Workers Office in Vancouver. We are under their jurisdiction in terms of our foreign Filipino foreign workers based in Alberta and in Saskatchewan. So our officers are Consul General M.R. Sarne, second by myself and my colleague, Vice Consul Vida Soraya Versosa, who is in charge of our assistance to national section. As mentioned, our labor attaché based out in Vancouver is Ms. Maria Celeste Valderrama, and our welfare officer based off in Vancouver also is Mr. Alan Ignacio. And we have our SSS representative, Ms. Ines Songkaya here also. We also have a Philippine honorary consul based in Regina in Saskatchewan, Mr. Pepito Escanar, who, due to some family matters, cannot be able to make it today. But I will be able to share later his contact details for those of our countrymen or kababayans who need to reach out to our honorary consul in Saskatchewan. So briefly, Filipinos in Canada, based on the 2021 census, in Canada, there are almost 1 million people who claim Filipino ethnic origin, and making us the 4th largest visible minority in this country. In Alberta, there are 216,710 people in Alberta with Filipino ethnic origin, and in Saskatchewan, about 46,000 who claim Filipino ethnic origin. Here's a brief breakdown of the largest areas of concentration of Filipinos. In Alberta, it's in Calgary and Edmonton, followed by Red Deer, and other locations in northern and southern Alberta. In Saskatchewan, Saskatoon has 14,000, and Regina has around 12,000, followed by Lloydminster, which has around 2,120 in the Saskatchewan side of the city. So I will just go briefly as to the various services of the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary that we offer to our kababayans here in Alberta and Saskatchewan, where we hold consular jurisdiction. First and foremost, I guess one of the most important is, of course, the passport. So I'll just run through the application renewal requirements and some special cases that we encounter with regards to passport applications. So the Philippine passport, for those who are above the age of 18 or the age of majority, has a validity of 10 years. For those who are children or below 18 years old, the validity of their passports is only 5 years. It's a rule of thumb that if your passport has less than 6 months of validity, you may wish to opt to have it renewed in order for you to be able to travel to other points outside of your country of residence. All passport appointments are by appointment through our online portal. So our online portal is mentioned here, which is www.passport.gov.ph. It is the online portal for all Philippine passport appointments of every foreign service post worldwide of the Philippines. So if you are setting an appointment for passport renewal, in whether you are here in Calgary or you are in Vancouver or Toronto or in Los Angeles or wherever you are, you would need to pass through this website. And this website is embedded in our Philippine Consulate General Calgary website also. So first, you have to go to this website and then select schedule an appointment. You may wish to opt to start an individual appointment or a group appointment, which is for groups of up to 5 individuals. To navigate it, you would need to go to site location, being region, North America, country, Canada, and site PCG Calgary. For those who are making an appointment, sometimes you will also see some extra sites such as PCG Calgary Regina, and these are sites when we have our outreach missions to some areas here in Alberta and in Saskatchewan. So the basic requirements for Philippine passport renewal is, of course, when you have completed your online appointment booking and you are going to the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary or in any of our outreach sites, you will need to bring, of course, your original passport, your original Philippine passport, and a photocopy of the data page of your passport. You would also need to have your printed application with the barcode, and you please bring your valid PR card or work permit or with the visa, and as well, or if you are a dual citizen, your identification certificate. You would also need to bring, for those who are going to have your passports mailed back to you, an express post envelope or any envelope from a courier that is self-addressed, so that we can be able to mail it back to you, and to be prepared to pay 93 Canadian dollars, whether through debit, credit card, or cash. For minors, there are slight additions to the application process. First and foremost, of course, you would need a copy of their PSA birth certificate if they were born in the Philippines, or if they are born in Canada and they have already did their report of birth, which I will discuss later. That would suffice also, as well as a accompanying legitimate parents identification document. If the father is accompanying it, we would also request a PSA copy of their marriage certificate. All the other information contained in the, for those who are adults who are doing passport renewal or application, also follow the same for those who are minors. In case of emergencies, the Philippine Consulate, of course, can issue a travel document. But of course, it's very important before you make any appointments or you make any travel decisions, always check the validity of your passports. Now, in case of a problem such as a need to urgently travel to the Philippines and your Philippine passport has expired already, the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary can be able to issue you what we call a travel document. A travel document is only used or issued for emergency or urgent travel only, and is issued to a Filipino citizen who has lost his or her passport, has an expired passport, or cannot renew immediately, or is being deported from Canada back to the Philippines. It is only a one-way direct travel document to the Philippines, and is only valid for 30 days from the date it is issued. The requirements for this document is a duly accomplished application form, which is available at the Philippine Consulate General's website or in person in our consulate, a photocopy of the data page of your expired or lost Philippine passport, a copy of all your valid immigration documents here in Canada, 3 passport size color photos taken within the last 3 months, copy of your tentative travel itinerary, a proof of urgency of travel, say a copy of a death certificate or a medical certificate, And if you are having this document sent to you by mail, you can, of course, bring an express post envelope that is also self-addressed. And the total cost for this will be $46.50. Other services after passport is what we call the notarial services through the acknowledgement, authentication, and jurat, as well as I will also discuss briefly on the apostille process, which we believe can be very helpful, especially for our kababayans who live in Alberta and in Saskatchewan and cannot travel immediately to Calgary or to any of our consular outreach mission sites. For in-person services at the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary, which includes our regular working hours from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Mondays to Fridays, or during our monthly Saturday consular services or SCS on every third Saturday of the month from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m., or during our consular outreach missions, a person or individual would need to make a booking, an in-person appointment booking through this website, www.calendly.com dash YYCPCG dash no non-passport. Usually processing for acknowledgement or authentication or documents takes about 7 working days from the date of the receipt of your documents. And for expedited services during regular working days or during our Saturday services or during our consular outreach missions, an additional expedite fee will also be charged. So what are the basic requirements? Of course, the individual would need to make a personal appearance at the consulate or in the outreach mission site. The original document should be presented. A photocopy of each document should that is to be notarized. Presentation of the original ID and 2 photocopies of the ID per the document. A self-addressed return envelope by express post or by courier with tracking features, paper or note stating the applicant's full name, address, and telephone number and email. As this is an in-person service, the total cost will be $38.75 by either debit, credit, or cash. Now, for those who are unable to go to the Philippine Consulate or to any of our consular outreach mission sites during the year, since January of 2024, Canada has acceded to what is called the Apostille Convention. The Apostille Convention is a treaty in which the Philippines is also a member of, which allows documents issued by competent authorities in a particular state, and in this case, Canada, to be recognized in another state, such as the Philippines, which is also a member of the Apostille Convention, without the need for it to pass through a consular officer. So this means that a document, such as, say, a academic credentials or export corporate records, or documents that have been notarized by a notary public in either Alberta or Saskatchewan, would need only to pass through the competent authorities in Alberta or in Saskatchewan, and for them to issue a apostille certificate. An example of an apostille certificate is presented here in this presentation, and this apostille certificate with the attached documents can then be mailed directly to the Philippines. And this will be honored by the competent Philippine authorities without need of having to have it notarized or acknowledged by the Philippine Consulate General in Calgary, or in any case, in any of our Philippine consulates in Canada. So I will share here the apostille requirements for Alberta and the apostille requirements for Saskatchewan. We will leave a copy of this presentation with our friends from CSS for those who are interested to know how they could avail of the apostille certification from these 2 provinces. Another important function of the Philippine Consulate General is, of course, the civil registry through the report of birth, the report of marriage, or the report of death. For report of birth, you would need 4 duly accomplished original report of birth forms. If it is submitted by mail, it must be notarized and apostilled by the competent provincial authority in either Alberta or in Saskatchewan. And then an original and 4 photocopies of the child's birth certificate issued by Vital Statistics Office of Canada. And if the parents are married, a PSA marriage certificate, the child's foreign passport, the parent's Philippine passport, a document showing the status of the parents in Canada, and if it is reported after more than a year from the birth, an affidavit of delayed registration of birth. The report of birth processing fee is 38.75, and if it is to be mailed to the Philippine Consulate, we would request a bank draft address to Philippine Consulate General. And if it is to be submitted in person, you could pay by debit, credit, cash. If you are going to have it mailed back to you, please prepare a prepaid self-addressed envelope, preferably with tracking pictures. For report of marriage, we would require 4 duly accomplished original report of marriage forms, and of course, it must also be notarized and apostilled by the competent provincial authority in Alberta or Saskatchewan, and original and 4 photocopies of the registration of marriage, a PSA issued birth certificate of the Philippine spouse or spouses, and birth certificate of the foreign spouse, a copy of the current valid passports, proof of Filipino citizenship at the time of marriage, and if it is reported after a year from the marriage, a notarized affidavit of late registration of marriage, an annotated PSA marriage certificate if one of the party or parties has a marriage that has been annulled for in the Philippines, or an authenticated judicial decree of divorce for the foreign spouse. The ROM processing fee is also 38.75 if it is to be sent by mail, bank draft addressed to Philippine Consulate General, and debit and credit card or cash if you are submitting in person. Same also, we would request a prepaid self-addressed envelope if you are requesting for this document to be sent to you by mail. For report of debt, aside from the 4 duly accomplished original report of debt forms and the need for it to be notarized and apostilled by the competent authorities in these 2 provinces, we will also need a proof of Filipino citizenship of deceased, the proof of the deceased immigration status here in Canada, a certificate of death issued by the Vital Statistics Office, the data page of the Philippine passport of the deceased, an embalming or cremation certificate, the medical certificate of death, a burial transit permit for shipment of the human remains or cremains, and the copy of valid passport of the reporting party. The report of death processing fee is also 38.75. Bank draft if mailed to the Philippine Consulate General, and if sent by in person, debit or credit card or cash is accepted. Prepaid self-addressed envelope also if you are sending it by mail or you want it to be returned to you by mail. For those who are bringing the remains or remains back to the Philippines, an additional requirement requested by our airlines is, of course, the mortuary certificate. For this, it's usually in tandem with the report of death. We would also request an original and 1 photocopy of the certificate of death issued by the Vital Statistics Office, original and photocopy of the data page of the Philippine passport of the deceased, embalming certificate or cremation certificate, the medical certificate of death, a burial or transit permit for the shipment of the human remains or cremains, the travel itinerary to be followed by the remains or cremains, and a certificate stating that the casket only concerns the body of the deceased, or certification from the crematorium stating that the urn contains only the ashes of the deceased. A mortuary certificate processing fee of 38.75. If it is sent, of course, by mail, you can send a bank draft addressed to Philippine Consulate General, and debit, credit card, or cash if submitted in person. And of course, a prepaid self-addressed envelope if you wish to have it returned to you by mail. Now, another service that the Philippine Consulate General offers is, of course, a dual citizenship. So this is for those who wish to reacquire their Philippine citizenship after having already become Canadian citizens here. So you would need to fill out the application form, which is available on our website. Provide us with 3 recent 4 by photographs colored with white background, 2 copies of your PSA birth certificate, your marriage or your marriage certificate if you're married, death certificate of a spouse if you are a widow, old or previous Philippine passport, a copy for Canadian passport, your citizenship card or ID, and this certificate of oath taking of Canadian citizenship. Processing fee of $77.50 if it is sent by mail, bank draft addressed to Philippine Consulate General. If in person, debit, credit card, or cash is accepted. For all dependent applicants or those below the age of 18, an additional $38.75 per dependent will be charged to the applicant. Another feature, just for the information for our kababayans, is of course the balikbayan privilege. So under Republic Act 6768, former citizens of the Philippines are allowed to visit the country visa-free for stays of up to 1 year, provided that they present proof of their former Philippine citizenship, an old Philippine passport or PSA birth certificate to the immigration officials upon their arrival. This privilege is also given to those immediate family members, spouses, and children of the balikbayan for nationals of countries falling under Executive Order 408. Under this executive order, Canadians are also contained here. So if they are accompanying the balikbayan to the Philippines for holiday, then they can be able to avail of the same privileges as their parent or their spouse who is a balikbayan. So another service of the Philippine Consulate is the Assistance to Nationals Service. This provides this assistance to Filipino citizens in distress in here in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and in particular instances, we are also, of course, working in tandem with our Migrant Workers Office as well as our OWA office in Vancouver. So our ATN hotline is 1587-577-1524. At the same time, as we all know, there are ongoing wildfires in Alberta and Saskatchewan right now. The Philippine Consulate General in Calgary's Assistance to National Section has come up with a information database for all Filipinos affected by the wildfires during this season. So if you know someone who has been affected by the wildfires, who is a Filipino citizen and would need assistance or is seeking assistance, please direct them to this Google form under tinyurl.com dash wildfires ABSK25. So as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, the Philippine Consulate General, aside from its regular working days, also holds consular outreach missions to various parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan from the summer periods until early fall. As well as we starting this year, we have begun our monthly Saturday consular services in our Philippine Consulate General in Calgary. These are held every third Saturday of the month from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. at the Philippine Consulate General Calgary's offices. We make announcements on this with the pertinent links to the appointment sites for both passport and non-passport for both the outreach missions as well as our consular services on Saturday. Another feature of the Philippine Consulate General is, for your information, our public and cultural diplomacy. So we do hold activities throughout the year to celebrate our Philippine culture with our Filipino communities in both Alberta and Saskatchewan. These are just some examples of some of our the activities that we hold. We hold art exhibitions every quarter in the consulate. And in April, we hold what is called the Filipino Restaurant Month in Canada, in which restaurants participating from Alberta, Saskatchewan, and all other provinces and territories in Canada are done, and in which we offer prefix meals that are shared by these restaurants to both Filipinos and Canadians who are interested to know more about Philippine culture and cuisine. And of course, Alberta is also the site of the first Dr. Jose Rizal Monument in Western Canada that has a National Historical Commission of the Philippines historical marker. So our contact details are as follows. We have various email addresses, social media, and of course our website. Here's a photo of our website right now. So for our official consulate email, we have these, as well as the email addresses of our various sections for passport, for our notarial section, our civil registry section, our dual citizenship section, our overseas voting section, as well as our visa section. I'm sure that our colleagues from MWO Vancouver and OWA Vancouver will be sharing their contact details later. But I would also like to share with you the official email address of our Philippine Honorary Consul in Regina, Saskatchewan. It's regina.pc.ah@dfa.gov.ph. If you need any assistance or would seek help from our Honorary Consul in Regina, he is more than ready. Mr. Scanlar is more than ready to answer and all your queries and concerns. So we are also in various other social media platforms. We are both in Facebook, Instagram, X, and then we have a YouTube channel as well. And our official website, which was recently relaunched a few weeks ago, is calgarypcg.ca. In our website, you will find all our forms, downloadable forms, as well as the various steps and procedures for all our various services here in Calgary. So that ends my presentation for this afternoon. And as mentioned by both Joanna and Johan, I will be more than ready to entertain questions later on. Thank you.